Today in this video we are going to see about the false twist principle and how the yarn formation takes place using this principle in earlier machine as well as in drift 3. Right? So first we will see the false twist principle. So last principle we have seen is the open end spinning principle, where rotor spinning and friction spinning machines are working under the same principle. So the second principle is false twist principle. I hope everybody knows about the false twist. We have seen in the speed frame as well as in the rotor spinning. The flyer top in the speed frame is used to give the false twist. The navel, or we call withdrawal nozzle, in rotor spinning is used to give the false twist. So it is called as false twist because it is not a permanent twist. It is a temporary twist given to the strand of material for some purpose. But we can exploit this principle for making a final yarn also. So that is what we call false twist principle. So you can see the two diagrams here, A and B. So in the case of A, I am holding the yarn strand, right? So this light green color is a yarn, and I am clamping the yarn ends at both ends by means of clamp K1 and K2. I am clamping the yarn ends, then I am twisting at the middle of the yarn using some twisting element. It may be a mechanical or it may be a pneumatic element. I am twisting the yarn end at the middle. What I can get, because both the ends are fixed, I will get the twist in opposite direction in one section and opposite direction in the another section. You can see in the diagram there is an S twist in the right hand side and Z twist on the left hand side. Because the yarn is fixed at both the ends, when you are twisting at the middle, you will get the opposite twist on both the ends. It's a S twist on the right hand side and Z twist on the left hand side, right? It is clear. The second diagram, you can see there is only one change. In the diagram B, instead of clamp K1 and K2 has been replaced with the rollers Z1 and Z2. You can see this is a feed roller and you can see this is a delivery roller. In the first case I am clamping the yarn ends, but in the second case the yarn is moving. It is not stationary, it is a moving yarn. When I am going to twist this moving yarn in between, like as before, what is happening is entirely different. When the yarn is coming from feed roller Z1, when I am giving a twist, say here I am giving what kind of twist? S twist, right? So in the section A, I have a S twist. As far as our principle is concerned with reference to the diagram A, Z twist has to be generated in the section B. But what is happening is, so here when this S twist coming to the section B, because the yarn is moving, yarn is not stationary, right? When this section A of yarn having S twist is coming to the section B, which is importing the Z twist, so what will happen now? It is inserting Z twist, but the yarn is already having the S twist. So it will be nullified because I am giving an opposite twist in the zone B compared to the zone A. When zone A having S twist enters the zone B, the whatever the twist is given here will be removed because I am giving an opposite twist in the zone B. So the yarn does not have any twist here, it is parallel. So this is called false twist principle. So remember, as far as false twist principle is concerned, you have the twist only between the feed roller and the twisting element. The yarn does not have any twist between the twisting element and the delivery roller. So that is the basic concept of false twist principle, right? But you can have a doubt, then how I can produce a yarn using this principle, because the output material does not have any twist at all, right? Then how we can produce a yarn using this principle? We have some more concept how we can produce a yarn. So this is the kind of yarn you are going to produce using a false twist principle. The yarn which are produced using false twist principle are called fasciated yarns, right? Fasciated yarn. So fasciated yarns consist of two structures. One is core parallel fibers. Core fibers are parallel which does not have any twist, but outer side you have wrapper fibers or edge fibers, right? So this is what we call fasciated yarns. The yarns produced under false twist principle are called fasciated yarns. We have core parallel fibers and edge wrapper fibers, right? So you may come to the conclusion that here the yarn is produced by means of wrapper fibers or edge fibers, because as far as principle is concerned, the output yarn does not have any twist. But I cannot make a yarn without a twist. So I am going to produce, or I am going to introduce some amount of edge fibers or some amount of wrapper fibers to hold the parallel fibers. So that is how the yarn will be produced in the false twist principle, right? So here you can see the two rollers. This is the feed roller, this is the delivery roller, and I am twisting in between. So here it is having S twist. When it comes to section B, this twist will be removed. But you can see this yellow color line, these are all some edge fibers which does not have any twist. We have already seen in ring spinning, when the spinning triangle, the edge fibers will escape the twist. So I am going to exploit this concept in making a yarn using the false twist principle. So I am generating the more edge fibers here. That is the basic concept. So I am creating more edge fibers. These edge fibers will not get any twist during this section A. But when it comes to the section B, in this diagram, second diagram, so you can see the edge fibers which are not get twisted in the first process will get wrapped over the parallel fibers, because the core fibers will become parallel because of opposite twist. These edge fibers which are not twisted before will wrap over these core parallel fibers. So this is called fasciated yarn that is produced using the false twist principle. So the first machine which is produced under this false twist principle is from DuPont. So DuPont or Toray from Japan, they have developed an initial machine based upon this false twist concept. So this is a normal drafting system, 4/4. Normally here the feed material is a sliver, right? When you are going for sliver, 3/3 drafting system will not be suitable because we have to give 200 draft. So normally they will go with 4/4 drafting or 5/5 drafting. So this drafted strand is coming out. So this is the false twisting unit, maybe a pneumatic one or a mechanical one. So here you can see this is a spinning triangle. I am creating bigger spinning triangle. As far as ring spinning is concerned, my main principle is to reduce the spinning triangle. But in the false twist principle, I have to create the wider spinning triangle. That is possible by feeding the material in a wider form or broader form. When you are feeding the material at a very broader form, the ultimately I will get more spinning triangle. So I am creating more edge fibers. So that is the only possibility in the DuPont. I am creating more edge fibers by creating more spinning triangle. So these edge fibers will be wrapped over the core because of false twisting principle. Right? Can you know what is the limitation here? What is the main limitation in the DuPont? Why it is not commercialized? Because the amount of wrapper fibers or amount of edge fibers created here is only 2 to 3% of total number of fibers, right? The number of wrapper fibers or edge fibers are very minimum. It will not be able to hold the remaining 95% or 96% of core fibers. So the yarn strength is very less. So because of this limitation, the DuPont system has not been commercialized. So after that only Murata, the machinery manufacturer, has came up with a concept called MJS, Murata jet spinning. that is a more commercialized version compared to this DuPont system, right? In the next video, we will see how DREP3 is working under the false twist principle. Then in another video, we will see the working of MJS spinning. Thank you.